afternoon. This is the World News on Champion 90.7 FM. I'm MARIAM, okay? Here are the headlines. Federal government deploys retired soldiers to secure high-risk areas. Jigawa Court orders 10 million naira compensation, public apology for man held 10 years without trial. NDIC EFCC strengthens prosecution of bank failure offences. And from the international stories, Iran executes man convicted of spying for Israeli intelligence. Now let's take a closer look at the stories. The federal government has announced plans to deploy retired military personnel to help secure Nigeria's high-risk spaces as part of efforts to strengthen national security and boost economic activities in conflict-prone areas. The move follows the inauguration of an 18-member committee by the Minister of Defense, retired General Christopher Musa, tasked with reclaiming ungoverned spaces and repositioning the Nigerian Legion Corps of Commissioners and Veterans. The committee was inaugurated at the Ministry of Defense headquarters in Abuja, with the minister represented by the Permanent Secretary Richard Filangwa. Speaking at the event, General Musa said integrating military veterans into local security operations would complement ongoing military effort and promote a more sustainable approach to tackling insecurity. He noted that the initiative would improve intelligence gathering, enhance community trust, and address socio-economic factors driving insecurity, while also empowering veterans to live productive lives after service. Members of the committee were drawn from the armed forces, defense and intelligence agencies, and relevant departments of the Ministry of Defense. The House of Representatives Committee on Healthcare Services has commended Abia State Governor Alex Oti for what it described as remarkable improvement in healthcare delivery across the state. The committee, led by its chairman, Dr. Amos Magaji, gave the commendation during an oversight visit to the government house in Umuahia, aimed at assessing the implementation of the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund. Lawmakers said the observations in Abia showed significant progress not only in health services but also in sectors that support healthcare delivery. Dr. Magaji praised the state government for prioritizing maternal and child health care, strengthening specialist hospitals, and increasing budgetary allocation to the health sector in line with the Abuja Declaration. Responding, Governor Oti reaffirmed his administration's commitment to healthcare as critical social infrastructure, stressing that improved manpower, modern facilities, and increased funding remain central to reducing maternal mortality and improving service delivery. He added that the state has begun attracting skilled medical professionals from within and outside Nigeria to strengthen its health system. A Jigawa State High Court has ordered the immediate release of Mr. Jao Sabo, who was detained for more than 10 years without trial, awarding him 10 million naira in damages and directing the authorities to issue a public apology. Sabo was arrested in 2014 over allegations of criminal conspiracy and armed robbery, but remained in custody without his case being brought to trial. The ruling was delivered by Justice Ado Yusuf Bernin Kudu at the High Court sitting in Bernin Kudu. The court held that Sabo's prolonged detention amounted to a gross violation of his fundamental rights as guaranteed under the Nigerian Constitution and the African Charter on Human and People's Rights. Justice Benkudu ordered the Jigawa State Government, the Attorney General, and the Commissioner of Police to jointly pay the compensation and air a public apology on major radio stations across the states. Sabo's counsel described the judgment as a strong affirmation of the judiciary's role in protecting citizens' rights. Troops of the Nigerian Army have arrested 27 suspected illegal miners in the Federal Capital Territory and neutralized 3 terrorists during coordinated operations across the country. According to military sources, the arrest followed a raid by troops of the 7th Guards Battalion under Operation Mesa on an illegal mining site in Ida Buari Area Council, where several camps were destroyed. Items recovered during the operation included a Dane gun, motorcycles, and assorted mining equipment, while roadblocks were mounted along key routes to prevent further criminal activities. The Army said sustained offensive operations were also recorded in other theaters nationwide, including the Northeast under Operation Aden Kai and the Northwest under Operation Fasanyama, with no major security breaches reported. In the South-South, troops arrested suspected armed robbers and illegal oil bunkerers, while interventions in Plateau and Kaduna states led to the rescue of victims, arrest of suspects, and restoration of calm. The Nigerian Army reaffirmed its commitment to denying terrorist and criminal elements freedom of action and ensuring the safety of lives and property across the country. In economic news, the Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation and the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission have agreed to deepen collaboration to strengthen the investigation and prosecution of offenses linked to bank failures. The commitment was made during a courtesy visit by the NDIC management, led by its managing director, Dr. Thompson Oludare Sunday, to the EFCC chairman, Mr. Olanipekun Olukoyede, in Abuja. The partnership is aimed at improving asset tracing, recovery of debts, and prosecution of financial crimes in the banking sector. Mr. Sunday said closer cooperation with the EFCC is crucial to addressing challenges such as asset stripping and concealment, which often undermine the liquidation of failed banks and the settlement of uninsured depositors. In his response, EFCC Chairman Olukoyede reaffirmed the Commission's support, noting that specialized units within the EFCC handle bank fraud and the NDIC-related cases. He assured of continued collaboration to safeguard the stability and integrity of Nigeria's banking sector. The National Tax Policy Implementation Committee has continued stakeholder engagement on Nigeria's newly enacted tax laws, holding a high-level consultative meeting with tax advisory firms, professional bodies, and institutional representatives. The session brought together leaders of professional institutions and tax experts to align implementation priorities and ensure operational clarity. Chairman of the committee, Mr. Joseph Tegbe, said the success of the reforms would depend largely on effective change management, clear communication, and public trust. Participants described the reforms as timely and structural, urging consistent interpretation, clear guidelines, and coordinated public education to support smooth implementation and strengthen Nigeria's long term fiscal sustainability. On the global stage, the Malian government has announced it is taking majority control of a new company set up to produce civil use explosive within the country. Authorities approved a 51% stake in the Associate Industrial do Center do Mali Farachi Kosa, formed in partnership with Chinese firm Oxen as part of efforts to reduce reliance on imported explosives and secure supplies for mining, quarrying, and major civil engineering projects. The move comes as Mali tightens regulation of explosives amid ongoing security concerns linked to terrorism and the use of improvised explosive devices. Officials said the initiative aligns with broader mining reforms and a new mining code aimed at increasing state participation, improving oversight of sensitive materials, and boosting local economic benefits, though production timelines, and capacity have yet to be disclosed. The European Union's top diplomat Kaja Kallas has called for Europe to take greater responsibility for its defense and play a stronger role within NATO, warning that United States President Donald Trump has shaken the transatlantic relationship. Speaking at a defense conference in Brussels, Kallas said Europe must adapt to new geopolitical realities, noting that the continent can no longer rely heavily on Washington as its primary security anchor. She stressed that while NATO remains the foundation of European security, the alliance must become more European as the United States shifts focus to other global priorities. Kallas urged urgent action, citing rising global security risk, while NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte cautioned that Europe cannot defend itself without the United States, warning that weakening U.S. involvement could benefit Russia. Iran has executed a man convicted of spying for Israel's intelligence agency, Mossad, according to the country's judiciary. Mason News Agency reported that Ahmed Reza Sabet Esmailpour, arrested in April 2025, was found guilty of passing sensitive information to Israeli agents and was executed at dawn. The execution comes amid heightened security tensions following last year's brief war between Iran and Israel and a renewed crackdown after recent nationwide protests. Rights group says Iran has carried out multiple executions on similar espionage charges, raising concerns over due process as authorities insist trials are being fast-tracked for suspects accused of collaborating with Israel. On entertainment, TikTok content creator Habib Hamzat, known as Pella, has announced he will postpone his university education just days after celebrating admission to study law at a private Lagos university. During a live session on TikTok, Pella cited financial constraint, saying attending classes would reduce his income and disrupt his content creation schedule. Pella also expressed concern about being the youngest student in his class, describing himself as feeling out of place among older classmates. He indicated he may consider resuming studies later in life while reaffirming his focus on his career and online ventures for now. That's wrap up the world news on Champion 90.7 FM. I am Miriam. Okay, please stay with us for more updates and reports across the globe. Wishing you a pleasant afternoon.